Buju relatives, Shangwewe Kamigukwen Indigenous. I'm Jamie Kellicott with HIR Wellness Institute, and we are live here on Facebook for emotional sobriety. And before we get started, I have some smudge for us. Welcome, relatives. So glad that you are joining us today. Happy Friday. It is Friday, January 15th, and we are wrapping up a very long week, and we are getting ready for the weekend to begin. And today we have some wonderful things to talk about. Before we do that, we always introduce who we have here in our space. And if you're just joining us, and if this is the first time that you have ever spent a Friday with us for emotional sobriety, first off, thank you, Miigwech. Welcome to our space. And a little bit about who we are at HIR Wellness Institute. We are a nonprofit organization that offers free mental health and wellness services to Indigenous communities, underserved communities, especially individuals and families who've been impacted by domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, intimate partner violence, and MMIP, missing and murdered Indigenous people. And every Friday, we come here into this space and we create safety together. We talk about emotional sobriety. We talk about recovery. We talk about healthy coping skills. We read meditations. We talk about different things that have worked for us. And we share, we learn from one another. We offer comfort. So this is a space for you every Friday. And so I would like to welcome Xavier Smart, one of our community healers, into this space. Xavier, how you doing?
Hi, Jamie. Hi, John. I am doing well. So good to be here with each and every one of you relatives. Like Jamie said, for those of you this is your first time ever being here, welcome. We're so excited to be here with you all. We do this every Friday, and we look forward to it, being able to just hold this space so that we can come together, reflect on how we can just create safety, create healing, as we walk in recovery during COVID-19 and this pandemic. So I'm, as always, so excited to be here to explore and share with Jamie, share with John, and just share with each and every one of you relatives as you bring your voices into this space. And we demonstrate what a group could possibly look like in the future, right? Our part of our role here is to really demonstrate what a private Zoom group could look like in the future. So we appreciate you all for being here, your spirits, your energy, and happy Friday. Let's do it.
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you so much. And John, I would love to welcome you into this space. How are you doing?
Yep, thank you so much, Jamie, and also Xavier. I'm actually doing really good today. And thank you again, relatives, for always joining us every single Friday for emotional sobriety. And, feel free to comment in the comment section below. And the person moderating will always be me on Friday. So sometimes my eyes kind of move back and forth. That's just because I'm kind of balancing the moderating and also paying attention. So feel free to just bring yourself every Friday and share your thoughts and how you're feeling. And we will read those comments live and acknowledge and have a discussion. And, we always bring our authentic self every Friday and share our experience and our thoughts. And hope that, you can take away some information and try to apply that, especially during this time. So thank you so much, relatives. And thank you, Jamie and Xavier.
Oh, thank you, John. Thank you very much. Here we are, Friday. Let's take a deep breath. Let's breathe in. Let's blow out Friday, all the week's hecticness. Maybe do that again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sometimes we just need that, relative. Take that moment. Just take a deep breath in. Breathe in all that goodness, all that love and good energy. And breathe out anything that's been holding us down, holding us back, making us feel kind of yucky, right? We all have those days. I myself am walking in recovery, so I'm on the red road. Been walking the red road for 6 years now, and every single day is a new day of my healing journey. And I really feel very blessed to be here with all of you, to share in this space with you. And I would love it if, Xavier, would you be willing to read our Elders Meditation today for us?
Yes, absolutely. Let me pull that up really quick. All right.
Thank you.
Relatives. So Jamie's holding up the book in which we read our elder meditations from every Friday. It's a wonderful book. I love the meditations that we read. So here it goes. I'll be reading our meditation for today, January 15th. It's all spirit and it's all connected. This was said by Grandfather William Commanda. If everything is connected, we cannot disconnect. To disconnect is not a real choice. This is why we are always spiritual no matter what we do. Every alcoholic is spiritual. All our brothers and sisters are spiritual. We may not be behaving correctly, but nevertheless, we are spiritual. Our choice is to live out of harmony with spiritual ways or in harmony with spiritual ways. Everything is spiritual. Great Spirit, give me the knowledge to be in harmony with the Spirit today.
I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about that, Xavier?
I absolutely love that reading for today. I think it's such a great way to end the week on a note of we're all connected, that everything is connected, that at the core of who we are, regardless of the quote unquote mistakes that we've made, regardless if we look different from one another, if we have different beliefs, that at the core, we're all spiritual and we're all connected in that way. And we truly have that choice, right? Always comes back to this notion of choice, to live in harmony with it or not to. But there, we understand that life experiences can get in the way of that, but still remembering that at the core, we do have that choice and that we are all just so beautifully connected despite the differences that may exist. So I just think it's such a great way to end the week.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this one for me rings so loudly right now. There's just a lot of connections for myself on my journey that I have been really sitting with, like really intentionally. And like, I guess first off, I want to say that even learning how to be intentional is a process. Like learning how to just be able to slow down and to be very purposeful with different self-care practices that you're trying to incorporate into your daily routine. And so this one really is just like very much connects with me today. Just different experiences that I've had as of recently, just really taking time to connect to who I really am, who my spirit is. Every single one of us, just like Xavier said, regardless of what we look like, regardless of who we are and what we believe, every single one of us has a spirit. So you can call it whatever you want. It does. You don't have to sit with that word. I want to keep reinforcing that message, that the words that we use is because that's what connects to us. But everybody has something that they connect to, and you can use whatever word that is, whatever phrase that is. So when we come together, you're going to hear words like spirit. You might hear creator, great spirit, energy. We might talk about energy. Even in some of the readings that we choose, you might hear the word God or higher power, source, true source, authentic self. There's a lot of different phrases and words that we could use. So whatever that is, relatives, that you connect to, that's what we want you to really hone in on. Is when we're walking the journey, regardless if you woke up today and you have years, decades of sobriety under your belt, or maybe you have months or days, weeks, hours, minutes, or maybe you don't have any. That's okay. This space here every Friday with us for emotional sobriety is for all of you. All of you. It doesn't matter who you are. It's for all of you. The things that we talk about, not just for somebody who's been walking in recovery. It absolutely is for someone who is struggling and walking in recovery. Yes, we are going to talk about a lot of things that are going to help us in those moments when we are struggling with our recovery. But these things that we talk about truly translate to any of us. We all need self-care. We all need love. And we all have a spirit. And we're all connected. We're connected, not just to each other, to nature, to our surroundings, the universe. It's all connected. So this one really fits with me very well. I love it. So that's a perfect way for us to start our time together. And we have a workbook. And the workbook, I'll show it to you, relatives. This is what we've been working on every week. We spend a little bit of time. We read through here a little bit. We take some passages and we talk about it. And we sort of process through it. And if we were sitting, just like earlier, Xavier mentioned that if we were having a support group, a private Zoom support group, it would look just like this, except there'd be a few more people involved. We might have a handful of 5 to 10 people. And we'd all create this sacred circle together, and we would work through these little pieces, and we'd talk about it. And we'd ask things like, what's with you right now? What comes up for you? Like the first thing that comes up for you, or maybe even just close your eyes. And whatever that was that we just read, what do you see? What do you see? What do you feel? Those are some of those things that we would do if we were in a support group. And I do want to mention that if ever, relative, if that's something that you're interested in, we want to know. Let us know. Send us an email. Send me an email to jkellicott@hirwellness.org. John will put that in the comment section. And let us know if you are interested in a private support group for emotional sobriety. That's something that's in the works, and we want to make sure that you are a participant if you are interested. So you let us know. Don, would you be willing to, well, actually, before that, let me back up just a moment. I want to reread something because I like to bring us back to what we're talking about, relatives. So right now, Xavier mentioned how we're in the middle of COVID, right? There is a pandemic happening. Yes.
Yes.
We are also in the middle of a lot of social unrest in our society. Yes. All of that is happening. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and I really, really want you relatives to be gentle with yourselves, because this is hard for everyone. It's hard for everyone. When we come together on Fridays, we're going to be those people that are going to remind you that, you know what, this isn't going to last forever. So we can take all that stuff and the way we're feeling and let's put it inside of a box. Here is where we are. We are in this box. This box has a beginning and an end. We're in here somewhere, but it's going to end at some point. It's going to end. So we're going to show up every Friday and we're going to remind you that this isn't going to last forever. We're also going to create safety together. So I just want to read something real quick to you. Creating safety. It's very important to be proactive and institute the kinds of buffering basics into your day that keep you resourced, that reduce stress, and build resilience. The supports that you put in place now can serve as safeguards to alleviate or lessen some of the unusual stress that could become cumulative. Setting up a schedule, a support network, and recovering a sense of safety, personal space, and quiet can help you to avoid falling into the kinds of problems that could worsen over time. Yes. So when we come together on Fridays, that's what we're talking about. We're creating safety with each other. And John, if you don't mind, would you read to us what's our next few bullet points and what's our next few topics that we're going to talk about on how we can create safety?
Yeah, so the next two bullet, the first one states, don't feel too guilty. If you're one of those people who is enjoying the change of venue, more family, couple, or personal time, shorter commute, and the work variety you're experiencing, don't worry about it. You're lucky. The more people who feel happy, the better for everyone. Milk your good moments and feel them fully. And then the second one talks about, and finally, do not be perfect. We're all slogging through this together. Do the best you can, then forgive yourself for slipping. We're all slipping. Make being make being kind to yourself a priority and go easy on those around you. Stay safe and well. This too shall pass. And then the next part reads, the Italians who hung out the windows during lockdown and sang together have seen much worse than this in their communities. They learned that pulling together rather than pulling apart gave them the spiritual nourishment to get through. Keep your eyes on those who are pulling together and feel the goodness of it rather than just what is going wrong. Keep a tally of the lessons you're learning and the world is learning. They are deep and they are real. Keep the big picture in mind. There will be a life after COVID-19.
Yeah, thank you, John.
And I love this so much, these two about don't feel too guilty. And, for some reason, when I think of like just the pandemic and the lockdown, there are some goods that happen from it, and such as don't feel too guilty. Because I feel like it's a reminder of that family. Because sometimes, if you think about it, it's like you're bringing the family together Because how often have you seen your family in one place at one time? Not often, because everyone's so busy going to work and having different schedules and all over the place. So I love this one because it just kind of takes you back to this time of just remembering the good times of spending time together and the value of family time. So I know that for some families, they may be struggling right now, but then also just finding the gratefulness of the little things, such as, well, I see my, children more often now and stuff like that. Just the little things, the little family things, or the little times that you are spending together. Because once things go back to normal, which I know will be a new normal, uh, you know it's not going to be the same anymore. You won't see your family members as often. So just appreciating just the little moments, even though there's so much going on at this time, just a little bit of peace and happiness of just unity means so much. And then also, do not be perfect, and just understanding that, I have flaws. Jamie and Xavier, we all have flaws. No one's
Mm-hmm.
perfect, and we all make mistakes. And we have to be kind to ourselves when we do make these mistakes, and also learn from it and think about it. There's so many different things that you can do, because oftentimes when people make a mistake, they try to punish themselves, and you shouldn't do that. you know, right now is a perfect time to really sit back and analyze and learn from those mistakes and be kind to yourself, especially when you feel like you made a big mistake. It's okay. That's how people learn. You can't learn if you don't make any mistakes, relatives. And just understanding that everyone has flaws, and you can always work on improving yourself. But during that time when you're learning, it's okay to be gentle. And I
Mm-hmm.
would love to hear what Xavier would have to say or add on to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing, John, and bringing your voice into this space. Um, I love those two points. I think they're so important to touch on. I think specifically not feeling guilty. I think that's, I know for myself that's been hard, right? To do. Um, it's like, oh, I get to relax a little bit, but then something called anticipatory anxiety, anticipatory grief, right? Where we're anticipating that, like, oh my God, like there's something I need to be doing, like there's something bad that's gonna happen, right? And it's a real thing, relatives. We all feel that. And we're in a state of calm, we're in a state of, you know, things are just kind of okay, this is kind of weird. Your body's like, haha, this isn't normal, it doesn't feel right. And that's totally a normal feeling. And I think just being able to again breathe through it, right? Allow yourself to notice how you feel in your body, and take those moments to observe, to see what's around you, to kind of just sit with it and then release it when it's needed, right? But yeah, this aspect of feeling guilt, I think during this time, so much pressure to either get work done or get XY, you fill in the blank, get things done, is so hard, when in reality there's only so much we can do, right? There's
Right.
only so much we can do. And to give ourselves permission to understand that, hey, we're not perfect, that the environment, the things that we have going on right now, this is new for everyone. So to nothing's going to be how it once was. So you might not be able to get as much work done as you possibly could while being at home compared to when you are in the office. um,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding, giving yourself permission to be kind. That all of this is, I think, the point that I'm getting at, or just the realization, is that all of this is so interconnected. This aspect of not feeling guilty, not you know, understanding that we're not perfect and being kind to ourselves is my biggest takeaway. And I just love the story about the Italians and singing out the window. I know when I first saw the video, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was just so beautiful and so amazing to see that again during a time of, you know, so much uncertainty, so much grief, that again at the core of who we all are, that we can really come together, that we're all connected. And like we talked about last week, that music can really connect us regardless of, you know, our beliefs, of, you know, what's going on in our lives. So I just find that story so beautiful. And I just love to hear it, love to see that video. But ultimately, I think those are my thoughts about that. You know, they're all all connected. That, you know, allowing ourselves not to feel guilty, not to feel perfect, and being kind to ourselves. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Mm.
Yep, thank you so much, Xavier, for sharing your insight and your knowledge. And, you know, it's just always great to hear what you have to say. And then, Jamie, I would love to hear from you as well.
Thanks, John. Thank you, Xavier. You know what? The one line from that passage that you wrote that is really just phenomenal is that the statement that says they learned that pulling together rather than pulling apart gave them the spiritual nourishment to get through. And then our reading today, our elders' meditation says, it's all spirit and it's all connected. I'm telling you, these things just line up the way they're supposed to. We have no control over it. It is just happening, and it's happening the way it's supposed to. And that always just is like that, yes, yes. It's just a beautiful feeling. That's exactly it. And I continue to pray for, and I continue to be hopeful that we will get there. That here in this country, we will get there. There's a lot of work. And we have to remind ourselves that we can't individually take on everything, right? We're walking our journey. We can't take on everything. What we can do, though, is we can be the change that we wish to see. We can show up every day for ourselves in a good way and our community in a good way, show up for our family in a good way. I mean, if you really think about, so let's just sort of break it down for a moment. So let's just picture that, so we know that we're all connected, but have we really thought about it and like pictured that? What does that look like? Mm-hmm. So if we really think about, if we're all connected, and let's say let's say we can actually see the connections. So now we are seeing a string that's connecting us. Me, John, Xavier, we're all connected, and then there's strings that are coming from us, connecting us to our family and our friends, and they have strings that are connected to them, and that is going on to other people that they know that they're connected to. And then we're also seeing strings that are connected to the trees and the flowers and the food and the grass and the dirt. And so we're seeing all these connections, and we're seeing connections going up because we're going up into the universe, to the sky, the moon, the sun. We're seeing all of that. So if we could just imagine that for a moment, imagine what that looks like. Do we think that we would maybe be showing up each day a little differently? Would we be showing up differently for ourselves, for our immediate surroundings, for our loved ones and the ones closest to us? Would we show up just a little differently? I don't know. I kind of think we would. If we really could see those connections. Like, it's easy right now for us to just be like, yeah, I mean, I can't see no connection, and I don't like how they're acting, and so not connected to me, sorry.
Yeah.
So the reason that I bring this up is because if each one of us made a decision today to say, you know what, I'm going to continue to put good out into the universe, into the world. I am going to feed myself good, and I'm going to also give out good. We all start doing that. I guarantee you that that is going to spread. That is going to spread, and that is going to make you feel all kinds of goodness. We get back what we put out. We get back what we put out. Do you remember a few weeks back how we were reading one of the meditations and we were talking about, I think I was mentioning in Sobriety how Elder Don Coyes, in one of his readings in a book that he has with Sobriety, it says that we become that which we think about. We become that which we think about. That is such a helpful and necessary statement as we're walking in recovery. Because you know what? You are not the substance. You are not the struggle. That is not you. So if we can start to think a little differently about it and start to tell ourselves something a little different, maybe wake up and give ourselves a hug. Maybe it is that we just, we need some of that sensory. We need to touch ourselves and give ourselves a hug. Maybe it's a journal and writing positive affirmations down. Maybe it's just deep breathing, just intentionally stopping for a moment and doing some deep breaths. Giving yourself love and care. We need that. We need that. And when we do that, that comes out of us into other people. I see it every day. I see it every day. I'm a witness to it every day. It matters. Self-care matters. Being able to show up and remind ourselves that we are spiritual and we are connected. We can't change that. We are. It matters. So, as we come to the end of Friday, I would just love to hear final thoughts. Xavier, what's sitting with you? Like, what's going on in that heart and soul of yours?
Final thoughts. There's a lot. Gratitude to be here as always, to share this space with both Jamie and John, to share this space with you all relatives. But I think it's going back to this aspect of connection and just how even right now, virtually during this pandemic, that we're able to connect is just so beautiful. Like, yes, it's frustrating. It's so much uncertainty, so much fear, so much fill in the blank, right? But this ability to connect in ways like this is sitting with me, and just continuing to come back to that we're all connected. And I just love your visual, Jamie. I think now all I'm gonna see in my head is little strings attached to people. So I love it. I love it. And I think that's such a beautiful representation of showing how we're all connected truly. and continuing to understand that, you know, if we take care of ourselves, if we take care of our spirits, if we honor our truth, our voice, that in doing so, it's taking care of someone else. And I think that's so beautiful. And that's what I'm sitting with.
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you. How about you, John? What are you sitting with right now?
Yeah, I'm just so grateful every Friday that we can come to Facebook Live and share with everyone from wherever you are, relatives, and you can join us virtually. I know that it's different, but again, we're reaching out to everyone from all over the place, and you can always come back and watch these videos. So I'm just grateful to have this opportunity to do this, to help as many people as possible. Um, and just, you know, like what Xavier said, just the connectiveness and just understanding that, you know, we're more than just ourselves. We're our own community as well. We have to think beyond ourselves and think about our community, helping each other out, especially during this time when there's just so much divide. And that's one thing that, you know, we just hope for everyone to unite and just think about more than yourselves, especially during this time, and taking care of yourself and loved ones and family members. And I love talking about connectiveness, like just coming here to her wellness and, you know, being from different walks of life. We're all connected in some certain ways, even though we have such different walks of life, and coming together and reaching out and connecting to you, relatives, and having you reach out and join us every Friday. So it's just, it's so dynamic. There's just so much to talk about. And just appreciating everyone who comments and everyone who, you know, let us know what works for them every single week, and us allowing us to share our experience and also what works for us. We're all connected at the end of the day. So it's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Xavier. Thank both of you. I thank you both so much for showing up every week for our relatives. It means so much to me, to the organization, to Leah, to all of our relatives in our community. It really does. We need your voices. We need your hearts. We need your spirit. That's how we all heal. We're going to heal collectively. We are going to do the work on our own, yes, and we will talk about that, how we do our own, because we have to. We have to do our own work. We have to walk our own healing journey and be able to connect to that with whatever that is that we need. We are really all connected. And us coming together like this, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. We are practicing CAM, community activated medicine. The people are the medicine. We're doing it. I would love it if we could close on a positive affirmation. Xavier, do you have a positive affirmation that we could say, that we could practice saying to ourselves right here? Like, we should say it out loud, actually. But
Yes.
if you have a positive affirmation that you could teach us, that we could say, and then we could keep that up. We could keep that going, relatives. We want to encourage you to keep that going.
Yes, absolutely. So the positive affirmation that comes to mind, something that we've been learning, Jamie, John, and myself, we've been learning this entire week, and I just think it's so beautiful. So the affirmation is, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Yes. I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And relatives, if that's something that is hard for you to say, if you can't get through saying that, right, just breathe through it, connect with your breathing. If you're like, I don't even know if I can, maybe try writing it down, right? Because we understand that, our life experiences, our narrative, the narratives that have been placed upon us, that it may be hard to love ourselves completely, to accept ourselves completely. And if that's where you are, that's okay. It's okay to be in that space of, I can't say that right now. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. But when you're ready, you'll get there. So I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to say that, to make that point, that if you're not there, relatives, that is 100% okay.
Thank you, Xavier. I love that. And I just want to remind you all, relatives, that yes, do what Xavier said. At least just write it down. At least write it down. So the words are, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I remember a day where I couldn't say that to myself. And it was like embarrassing. I would be embarrassed to say something like that out loud. And it would make me feel awkward. And I was like, nope, ain't going there, because nope. And no, there was a day that I didn't feel worthy to be able to say something like that. So if that's where you're at, it's okay. It's okay. I know that you'll get there. You will. Write it down. Just look at it. Just look at the words. Read it quietly to yourself. And then one day, maybe you'll try. Maybe you'll try to say it out loud. And then all of a sudden, one day comes and you believe it. We're going to continue to show up every Friday for emotional sobriety and spend this time with you all. Thank you, Miigwech, for being here. Xavier, John, Miigwech, for spending this time with us. Let's as our final what's one word that is sitting with you right now? One word.
I can go. For me, one word is a sense of, I would say, belonging.
Love that. Thank you, John. How about you, Xavier?
Well, I'm gonna go with connection.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Xavier. My one word that I am sitting with right now is love. And relatives, thank you again for joining us. We will be back next week, Friday, and you can check us out anytime on Facebook. All of our videos are on our Facebook page, HIR Wellness Institute. You could also go to our website, hirwellness.org. And we also have a survey that we would love it if you would take just 2 minutes to fill it out. It has 8 questions. It helps inform us on the type of programming that we need in our community. Also helps us keep our services free for all of you. Thank you, Miigwech, for joining us. Sending you lots of peace and love. And we will see you next week, Friday.